Hi everyone, this is Mindy Eggen. Welcome back to my channel. In today's video, I am creating a card where the entire card front, or most of it, is going to look like a postage stamp. And I'm going to be doing that using products from the Christmas in July card kit from Gina K Designs. I will be using a 3D embossing folder to create the image, and then we'll be doing some ink blending. And I'll show you my steps to really step up the ink blending. All of the supplies that I'm using today will be linked down below in the video description. I want to quickly share with you what's included in the kit, starting with the Joyful Borders stamp set, Festive Blooms, which both of these do have a coordinating die for them. Then we have the First Class Frame, it's a cover plate, Postage Plus stamp set, and then our 3D embossing folder, Bursting Blossoms, which does also have a couple dies included in it, and then its coordinating stencil. Before I do any embossing with my embossing folder, I first need to figure out what my real estate's going to be. So what size cardstock do I want to use? And I started with using that first class frame. I die cut it from heavyweight cardstock. And then I also die cut out another piece of heavyweight cardstock using Master Layouts 2. This is the non-stitched piece. Then I'm placing that inside of my 3D embossing folder, and I'll run that through my Intri-Cut machine. So I needed to have that die cut out first. Otherwise, if I die cut it out after I emboss, I'm going to flatten the image. So you want to do your die cutting or trimming of your cardstock first, and then you can use your 3D embossing folder. Then I'm bringing out my grip mat. This is a double background grip mat. I placed my cardstock that has the 3D embossing folder image on it to hold that down. And then I'm going to use the first layer of the stencil. There are 4 layers, I believe, to this stencil. The first layer is going to color in some of the petals on each of the flowers, and I'm deciding to color all of these flowers the same color. I like to start with a light color of ink first. And I'm using the cranberry assortment from Gina K Designs. So I used a standard blending brush to apply that light color. Then I'm coming in with medium cranberry and a smaller blending brush. Now, my medium cranberry was super juicy and very, very vibrant, even though I did tap off on my glass work surface. So what I did is I'm actually bringing in a rag to tap off some of my excess ink. Sometimes you really just aren't getting off that ink, even though you see it on your glass mat. Sometimes tapping off on paper or a rag, something that can absorb the ink, helps a little bit better. And that helped rein in that color a little bit. I'm going to step this up using dark cranberry with a detail blending brush, and I'm really trying to keep that focused in the center of the flowers or down towards the bottom of the bloom, just depending on how the bloom is facing. And this can get a little carried away too if you're not careful, so definitely go in a little light-handed at first until you get a feel for those colors. I brought in stencil number 2, and this does have some leaves on it. So I just put a piece of Post-it tape down there to block that area for me for right now. And for the rest of these petals up here, I'm going to use those same steps that I did before, starting with the light color first, then coming in with the medium cranberry. And I'm really trying to go maybe about halfway or 3/4 of a way. And again, kind of soft and light-handed. I wanted it to feather out into the light, but still leave a little bit of that light color there. Once I have my medium cranberry in place, then I can come in with the dark cranberry and really step up the intensity. Building with these 3 colors just really helps bring even more dimension to your floral image. And even if you have a color assortment that maybe isn't the light, medium, dark, you can look through your ink swatches and kind of figure out what colors in your collection would equal a light, medium, and dark. Now, I removed my Post-it tape, I shifted it up towards the top, and I'm blending my leaves first with key lime. So it's a very nice, vibrant green color. I like having that for a highlight. Then I'm coming in with Kelly green. This one I'm placing just kind of on one side of each of the leaves. Kelly green has definitely been a new go-to green for me if you're looking for some very true green colors. And then the third color is going to be Christmas pine. So this one is not in its own light, medium, dark collection. It is one that I looked through my swatches and I figured out these are the 3 colors I wanted to layer together to build the dimension. This is one of the reasons why I think it is very important to swatch out your colors of ink, because looking at the tops or the labels of them on the side of your ink pads, to me, isn't always a great way to decide on the color. It's really by swatching out your ink colors and look at them and your swatch book to determine what would make a great trio. Now, again, this is the next layer of the stencil. You can see I did some masking there down at the bottom, and I'm using those same three cranberry colors to build the dimension, really kind of go around the edges of some of these petals because some of these are going to be behind the rest. So I want them to be a little bit darker or a little bit more dramatic. I wiped up that excess red ink, switched my Post-it tape, and then I'm coming in for the leaves with those same three colors, the key lime, the Kelly green, and then once again with the Christmas pine. So this bundle is a part of the Christmas in July card kit, even though it doesn't look like it would be a Christmas assortment or a Christmas arrangement. I'm going to turn it into a Christmas arrangement by using Christmas colors. So you can do that with any of your embossing folders or stencils or flowers that you may have on hand. And I love doing this because that means it really extends the use of your supplies. But it's also nice because you can use it for other occasions outside of Christmas. It's not necessarily a Christmas theme. So I had finished off my ink blending with the stems and then honey mustard for the center. And then I'm bringing this over to my Misti and I'm going to stamp some images from the Postage Plus stamp set in the card kit. Both of these images I am stamping in Kraft Ink, and I wasn't sure exactly how well this would stamp being it's over a 3D embossed image, but it actually worked out really well. I didn't want to stamp beforehand because I wasn't sure what color ink I would use at first, and I didn't want to contaminate my colors with ink blending, but stamping after the fact in the Kraft Ink worked out really well. I'm also going to be stamping a sentiment for the front of my card. This is coming from the Festive Bloom stamp set that's included in the kit. I'm stamping that on white cardstock with my Obsidian ink. Originally, I had die cut out that first class frame from white cardstock, but I decided I wanted to bring in some more reds. So I die cut it out of cranberry, and then I'm layering that on top of my die cut piece using a tape runner. That's just going to give it a little bit of lift and dimension from my card front, which is using an A2 size piece of heavyweight cardstock. So 4¼ by 5½. So I'll have that white base, and then my postage will be that cranberry cardstock. And now I can add my actual 3D embossing folder piece using foam tape, which I apologize I left off screen. I also went ahead and popped up my sentiment using some small thin foam squares to finish off my card project. I'm definitely a huge fan of the Postage Plus stamp set that's included in this Christmas in July card kit. I hope you liked today's inspiration and it helped give you some ideas and maybe some tips on your ink blending. Again, all of my supplies will be linked down below in the video description. Thank you all so much for spending time with me today, and I'll see you again soon in the next crafty video.